Okay, so picking up from where we left up, so we've set up the global file path, and then we've also confirmed that you know where we're going to get the data. Next now is to get what we call we have to generate the some of the rules of how Stata is going to how it's going to manage the database. So in this case, what we're going to do is how do we set up Stata? So in this case, similar approach as we did there. We'll say, okay, fine, let's set up Stata. Setting up Stata, making sure that these are rules that we're going to follow from now onwards. Let's see, what did I do here? Okay, then what happens? Oops. What happens now? In this case, make sure that everything is set. Same here. To make sure that everything is in line. Remember, someone is going to read the data. So the other thing that I did mention why this is key. If I delete this, it assumes that everything is text, right? So you have to make sure that that is whenever you put text, you also close it with the star and the forward slash. Okay, now when setting up Stata, what we do, let's make sure that I'm not using caps here. We have to mention the version that we're using, because there are certain commands that run in Stata, an earlier version or a later version. That happens. I've done this several times. So we need to tell Stata what version of Stata we're using. And here we're saying that we're using version 18. Okay. And also once that is done, then we need to tell Stata again that if there's any program that's running in the system, drop it. Usually it's underscore or. And also, if there's any graph, drop it. Okay. And then also, the other important thing that we also do is to make sure that we set the memory in Stata, because remember that you're using your computer with many things, so we want to make sure that we're also controlling the memory that we're setting, we're using in Stata to run programs. So we cap the memory and we set it now to 350 M, and then we can also set the matrix size. Cap set mat size to 500. Right? So if you want to understand what a matrix is, for example, an Excel is a matrix, right? You have rows and columns, so that's what we're trying to do here. Then also we say cap memmax, and then okay, let me write the other codes that we need. Then you have also want to set what we call var, the variable abbreviation. Off, and then we also want to set the scheme color to S2 color, and then we set the line size to 100, and then lastly, make sure your video drivers are up to date. Okay, I need to update my drivers. It's just telling me. Okay, so then once you set the line size to 100, then lastly you can what we say, set more off. Okay. So ideally, what we're doing here is we're just telling Stata that okay, with the version, for the program, we want to make sure that if there's any data or data in the memory from different analysis that I was doing, that has to be dropped. If there's any graph that is still claiming the system, that also has to be dropped. The memory is just, we just set, asking Stata to set the memory size to 300 megabytes. Of course, we're limiting usage to also prevent Stata, from consuming excessive system resources. Memmax is, usually just telling it displays, display the current memory in the system, but also looking at what we call the maximum amount of memory that also can be allocated to Stata. And then what is also critical here is that because this is a tutorial course, usually what I do, I take out this this requirement so that I can easily abbreviate. Once I know the variable, I know exactly that okay, if I just type this, I know exactly which variable is going to use. Particularly if you're looking at a variable name for a household ID, right? You don't want to write the whole name of the variable. You can just abbreviate it. But because it's a tutorial course, I want to make sure that when you're going through this tutorial, yes, you remember the name of the variable, but also remember the entire name of the variable, so that you also remember that okay, instead you have to remember such things. Set scheme S2 color is just telling me, I'm just telling Stata that instead of displaying graphs using the default color, usually Stata 18 will come with a kind of a light blue type of graph. Here I'm just telling now Stata to say, okay, set that color scheme to something that is gray. You see, it's usually grayish. That's what we're trying to do here. Here we're just telling Stata that if there is any line size, you should, if it's more than 100 characters, truncate it. Just set it. Just put the naming just up to 100 characters. Lastly, set more off. Sometimes when you run a regression, it will say it will run, then you see a more. You tab, say no. You run, run a command. Give me the full results. That's what we're telling Stata what to do. Therefore, so once that is done, then what you can do, you can cross-check if everything works. I can also select everything and then run, and you see that everything, there's no error that has been displayed. So based on that, that's the approach. And in the next video, we're going now to before we go to the next video, the last item that we need to do, can usually also just copy this, and then we need also now to what we call to tell Stata where we're going to save our log file, which is now using the Stata markup controlled language SCML file, right? So here we're saying, okay, we're setting up instead of Stata, we're setting up the log file path. I can say it's MCL file path. And this one, the way we structure it, we say, of course, capture any log that is there, close it. And then we're saying, okay, log using, again, you have where we're going to save it. It's going to be in the, put the $sign, and then open parenthesis, and then you say, okay, find my log path. Remember, we've defined the log path up there. In it, I want you to save a file / called IHS5, and then we're saying this is cleaned data, and that also put a $sign to say this is the inter survey 2019, and then 2019 to 2020, and then we call this usually when you save it, you should also specify what type of file it's going to be, and you say it's actually an SMCL file. So you get out of the brackets, put a comma, and then you just also put this command to say if it exists in that file, just replace it. Don't tell me that it exists and no need. So we're saying wherever there is that file in that log path, save it. Okay. Good.